this team had a lot of players transfer out in the offseason, but a lot of the wide receiver group stayed here, including Kobe Paysour, who went into the portal and then came back out. What was it about that room that you think helped a lot of you guys to stay around under the coaching transition from Coach Brown to Coach Belichick?
Really, we love UNC as a whole. School-wise, it's a great education. I mean, a lot of us guys, we're really close off the field. So just talking to each other, seeing what we were thinking, and then we had a good coach, Coach Belichick's hard to pass up on that. Then Coach McGee came in, and we talked to him, and we had some talks, and we liked everything that he talked about. So that's really why we just decided to stay together and keep building.
On that, a lot of the senior group graduated last year, guys like JJ, who has stepped up early on in camp as sort of a senior leader in that room.
I mean, we're a young group, so Coach McGee, he knew that coming in, and he told us we were going to have to make plays early. So really everybody's just been making plays, making the most of our opportunity, and that's really it, just everybody stepping up and getting better each day.
Can you go to Jeremiah in front here? Yeah, Jeremiah, how was you personally, obviously, coming out of that first year, what do you feel some of the main lessons that you learned from your first year of college, and also what would you consider, some of the strengths of your game?
Really, I learned to just be patient and wait your time, make most of your opportunities. I didn't really get a lot to show what I could do last year. So it's kind of a little motivation factor for me just to show what I can do. And I just learned, just be patient in the process. Take your time, learn what you can learn from the older guys. Like he said, we had guys like JJ and Nate McCullum last year, and I learned a lot from them. So just really building off of that and showing the younger guys now what I can do. And I feel like some of my strengths are, catching, making some of those 50-50 balls, 80-20 really. So just trying to come away any ball if it's in my way.
So several players you got out of spring and in the early summer talked about it. It was pretty unique to be coached by Bill Belichick. Had a lot of people asking what it's like. Now you've gone through a team, or most of the team. You're still grinding through it. You've been coached hard by these guys for several weeks. I'm curious, does it feel more normal, for lack of a better term, as opposed to the celebrity factor when you came in? Do you still get a lot of questions from friends?
Right now it's definitely normal now. I done been with him since January, so I done got to stay with him, have conversations with him, just build over the time. And, it's still kind of crazy to think about, wow, Bill Belichick's your coach, but, I mean, we're getting close to the season, so it's it's just there. And I still kind of get some questions from friends. They're like, so how is he, stuff like that. I'm just he's a regular person just like us. So it's pretty normal now. I'm used to it.
Andrew Jones started 24/7. I hear Gio throw some darts, some pretty tight balls. Take us through running a route and getting a ball from Gio.
I just try to put him in the best situation I can, find the holes in the defense, seeing if he wants to give me a little check or something, reading the coverages and stuff like that. I got a little used to left-hand quarterbacks. My high school, I played with a guy, Ryan Stevens, so I'm used to that left-hand ball, and we was throwing in the offseason as a whole group, so kind of got used to catching the ball from him and seeing what he likes and things like that.
Was there any adjustment with the way he throws, kind of a different release point? Let's say Matt's 5 inches taller, and maybe Gio throws a little tighter ball. Was there any adjustment with that?
Not really. Like I said, I'm used to the left hand, so it wasn't too much difference with that, and yeah, it's pretty similar to things I've experienced in the past.
Alex Smith inside Carolina. Hey, Alex. When Belichick was in here, he called you smart, dependable, and versatile. How do you think you have gone about sort of earning that trust from what is pretty much an entirely new coaching staff? What has been important to you to show them about you?
Just like I said, making the most of what I can do. Anytime I'm on the field, whether it's special teams, offense, just showing what I can do in those situations. And him coming from the NFL, I know special teams is a huge process. We have more guys on this roster, but just finding any little things that I can do to just showcase that, and just listen to what he says in the meetings. Every little thing is important, and just trying to implement them fundamentals in my game, just to show him what I can do.
Just follow up quick. They do inside and outside, in terms of where you line up.
In some ways, I'm just moving around any way I can. If they tell me to go inside, I will. If they tell me to stay outside, I will. So really just depends where they want me in that situation.
Hey, Grant Sashery of North Carolina Tar Heroes on SI. What has really stood out to you the most about Gia? I know he's a left-handed quarterback. There's some adjustment periods there with trying to time the throw and catch. But what has really stood out to him the most?
Well, I'll speak off the field. You know, we've gotten a little closer. You know, just hanging out with him, seeing the way he thinks. You know, on and off the field. You know, it's not just about that. So just getting that connection and just learning what he sees on the field, things like that. Seeing how he reads little different things, like I said, coverages wise, and just trying to figure out any little things that I can to make sure like he's most comfortable and find a way that if he needs me in a specific space, I can get that for him.
Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. Going into the offseason, what do you think were some of the things that you wanted to improve upon? Did you have goals set for yourself, and how do you think up to this point you fared throughout those?
Main thing I really wanted to focus on was just getting more explosive and faster and getting stronger. And working with Coach Moses, our strength and conditioning coach, I feel like I have done that in a big way just in these little few months that he has been here. You know, I've been eating better, things like that. So I feel like I have been getting better than that. And on the field-wise, I'll say route running, just trying to get those little things, not choking my route too early so the DB can get that. And I feel like I have done a little bit better with that.
How would you describe his workouts?
I mean, they're definitely difficult for sure. You got to love it, but just know in the back of my mind he's doing it for the better of the team and for me. So just got to get through it regardless what it is.
Yeah, Freddie Marks from the Athletic. There's obviously been a lot of excitement and enthusiasm about the program ever since Bell was hired back in December. Now students are back. Is it different at all? What does it sort of feel like around campus, and how do you try to handle all the buzz around the program?
On campus, I'll say it's pretty regular right now. Everybody's still trying to figure out school, but I know once we get into season, you know, the games are going to be packed. A lot of people there, probably be a lot more noise about it, but I really try to stay off social media, don't really worry about too much about that, and just focus on the main thing, which is our team and getting better each and every day.
Rob Baxley, Federal Observer. Alex, you know, whether you guys on full pads or your shoulder pads, the DBs and wide receivers get to battle a little bit more than the linemen. How would you describe the physicality and contact y'all have had so far in those matchups?
I mean, going against those guys every day, you know, you have to get better or you're just not going to get the ball. So just figuring out little things that they do technique-wise, you know, if they're going to jam, press, off, they switch up a lot of things. And, you know, at first we did have to get used to that physicality part, and Coach McGee pushed that on us. And I feel like now we've done a lot better, and we can play through that contact. And being with Moses, we got a lot stronger. So I feel like we've gotten used to it, and every day it's a battle. So, you know, you have to come practice with the right mindset.
Sorry, I'm way in the back, sir. Shelby Swanson with the Raleigh News and Observer. I'm curious, some of your teammates have spoken about just particular moments like breaking down film with Belichick and that being a really wow moment for them with him. Have you had a wow moment with Coach Belichick, and if so, what was that?
It's really minor things that he says that's wow for me, like the way he goes about things and just thinks about film. It's like I would never even have thought about that, and I just try to listen to any little thing that he says. I write down notes, and I'm just like, wow, like how can I add this to my game? How can I spread this on to my teammates, see how they can understand? So really it's just little things, but every day is something different. I'm like, okay, like I got to lock in this meeting and really listen.
Maybe an example from a film session or in practice, you point out something that stood out to you?
Really it's just, for me, blocking wise, you know, if you know the running back's coming this way or not, just stay on that block a little longer, you know, upfield shoulder, so you know he's coming around you and the DB just can't get back wise. So just little things like that in each and every aspect.
Hey there, Alex. As someone who was here last season with Max Johnson, who saw him go through that injury and his rehab, how cool was it to see him back out there practicing fully with you guys? And to your eyes, does he look like he could go out there and play against TCU week 1?
I mean, it's just amazing and really an inspiration to me just seeing the way he's battled every day coming back from that injury. You know, I seen him every day in the facility, he's never negative in no type of way, and just seeing the way he's worked back from that, it just gives me a motivation like, wow, why can't I go through a little bit of soreness, stuff like that. So, and I definitely feel like he's ready to showcase what he can do against TCU in any way possible.
Last one for David in the back. David Gale with ESPN. I know when Bill got here, one of the things that he did was one of the parameters is the 33rd NFL team. How have you seen that implemented over the last 9 months? Is there things that have been, you know, whether it's on the practice field, the way you are running through drills or just nutrition, strength training? Is there specific things that have been more, in your mind, more of a professional way of doing things?
Really food and, well, he brought in Moses, of course, which he was with him with the Patriots, so we're doing things that they've done. Talked to Drake May. He's like, yeah, same thing you guys are doing. We're basically doing the same thing with a little bit of tweaks, but just little things like that. Food is definitely big for me. I feel like I've gotten way stronger just off of that, just eating better, make sure my nutrition is right. And on the field-wise, it's a lot of different things, concepts that he shows that could be shown in the NFL compared to college, and how we could, add that to our game and stuff like that. So I feel like we could be NFL 3013. I was eating a lot of fried food, I'm not gonna lie. I love fried food, but yeah, it's really good. But I know to get to my best self, I had to cut a lot of that out. So just started eating more greens, more fruits, and better meats for my body.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, Josh.
So thank y'all. Thank y'all. Go Oreilles.
I could go for some fried food right now. It made me hungry, him just saying that. Well, how come I cannot get in this? Here we go. Hey man, I'm Adam.
Andrew,
Good to
nice
meet
to
you.
meet you.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
there.
sir. How's it doing? Jeremiah, man. Andrew, nice to meet you.
Shelby, nice to
Andrew,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
Got linebacker Andrew Simpson. First question for Andrew. We'll start with Andrew here.
Started at 24/7. We've heard a lot about you. Watched some film with Boise. Why don't you describe yourself to us, what kind of player you are, what kind of player Carolina is?
Yeah, first off, I want to be a leader. I want to hit the field with the just last play mentality, every play like it's your last. Play hard, play fast, play physical. Be a coach on the field, somebody that you can depend on when the game's on the line.
I talked to some of the coaches before. You said that you play angry but under control. What is angry?
I guess just knowing what you got to do, getting there with just a mindset that you're going to make every single play. I want to make every play on the field. If it comes my way or not, I want to be there for my team with relentless pursuit any way I can. So just being dominant in that sense, I just want to do everything for my team.
Yeah, Jeremiah all the way to inside Carolina. Andrew, for you, when you were in the transfer portal, what were some of the main things you were looking for? And when you looked at North Carolina, I guess what were some of the main things that they had that just kind of worked for you? And how did you kind of identify those?
Yeah, so here obviously just championship pedigree with a coach like Belichick, somebody who's going to develop you, focus on just the small things that are going to just make a big deal when the time comes. So honestly, just trying to boost my draft stock as much as I can, trying to come to a winning culture that cares about football, that wants to win, and everything that I talked about with Coach Belichick, some of the guys on the team and the coordinators, it just aligned with all my goals. So it's really where I wanted to be.
We were talking to Gio about his recruitment with Coach Belichick, and he said, I was expecting a call from Carolina, but when it's actually Belichick that is on the other end of the phone, it kind of freaked him out at first. What was your sort of experience like with that first sort of line of communication, and how did you end up kind of getting sold on coming here?
Yeah, so I kind of had a good feeling. I wanted to be a part of this. Just talking to Belichick was kind of like the cherry on top. He made everything seem smooth. The transition was very smooth. And our first meeting, we met face to face. First time I talked to him was in person. It was a great conversation. We talked for a long time. I feel like we could have talked a little bit longer, it seemed like, but he had a meeting to get to. But honestly, it was with my family. He made us all feel welcome, made us all feel at home. He was a lot more genuine, a lot more authentic than I feel people give him credit for. He was very easy to talk to, and he made it simple. The reasons why we're here, what we want to do, what they want to do with me, and it just made everything smooth.
Hey Andrew, Riken Fuller, Tar Heel 24/7.
You played in some huge games last year, of course, in the college football playoff, the Mountain West Championship, but also one sack, one forced fumble against Oregon early in the season. Playing against that high-tier competition, what are some key takeaways you took from those games, and how do you plan to bring that here to Chapel Hill?
Yeah, those are the games you live for, you know what I'm saying? Just playing against this very best competition. That's something I always strive for, you know, just as a kid and growing up, even through high school, I always wanted to play with or against the best. So those games come up, and you know they're circled on the calendar for sure, and you know that you got to do everything in your power to play your best, you know, because the team is dependent on you. And I always go into every game like it's on me mindset. And I feel like if all 100 guys on the team is going into the game like it's on me to win this game, you'll play well and things will happen for you. So.
Defensive line's been rebuilt, linebacker room's been rebuilt, secondary is pretty similar than what was last year. What can you tell us about the guys that are rebuilt, the defensive line? They're all fresh faces.
What I'll say is, you know, they're big, they're hungry, they come into work every single day. They're willing to learn, and they're ready to just get after it. I feel like all of us coming from different places, so it'll be easy to see a lot of individuals, but I feel like we did a great job at like mending together as a team on and off the field, you know, getting to know each other and just playing fast and physical. That's something we wanted to implement, you know, on a heavy scale every single day, every single practice, is being a lot like the most physical team on the field every time we take it, and knowing where you're going and helping each other out. You know, if they're in a spot, I got to make them right. If I go somewhere, they got to make me right. So it's just playing in one unit, and I feel like that's what they're coming in here to do.
Noah Weisskopf, Tar Heel 24/7. What was it like for you in the transfer portal? I know people have crazy stories of like, got 8 calls in the first minute. Like, what was it like for you, and how were you able throughout that process to sort of stay level-headed and make sure you're making the right decision?
Just focusing on mainly what my true goals were for not only as a football player, but just as a person, going somewhere where the program, you know, just cared. You know, they cared about winning. They cared about doing the right things on and off the field. They cared about just developing me as a player. Knowing I only had 1 year left, a lot of schools understood that, so I needed to come in immediately and just learn a new system and be developed from where I was. And I just wanted to be ready for the league when the league comes calling, and I felt like Coach Belichick, you know, there's nobody else better to go to for that. So.
Brian Devon with the Daily Tar Heel. Andrew, I believe Thad talked a little bit about how you guys grew up, I think, fairly close, and you grew up playing youth football against each other. Can you talk about how that relationship has been and kind of how it's been both of you kind of transferring to UNC?
Yeah, so, I mean, me and him go way back. You know, like we lived about like 5 minutes away from each other back in California. And even through COVID and stuff, like we'd be up at 6 a.m. like most days, just going to get work together, going to hit the field after, staying till it's dark, like just really finding things to do, honestly, on and off the field. We got really close then, and then through college, we ended up playing each other when he was at Washington and I was at Boise, and it was kind of a full circle moment there. And then coming all the way back to here, we were both in the transfer portal, and it just made it more just it just had a better understanding of kind of what we wanted to go do, and how we wanted this season to turn out for both of us. And I trust him, he trusts me, and he made a very good pitch to me when I was in the transfer portal about why I should come here and what we could do. And I'm just excited to get to work with him because that's my best friend. So.
Kate Shoemaker, Inside Carolina. I'm also curious, another relationship with Warren House. I know you guys went to the same high school. I know how much you guys overlap there, but when you come in such a new room, that the linebacker position, how has it been creating chemistry, and how quickly have you guys gotten along?
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier when you know a guy kind of like came up how you came up a bit, and gone through the same kind of cycle you have, because he was a freshman when I was a senior at Bosco, so I kind of knew he was a young guy who had a bright future, and seeing it like play out for him is special because I literally saw him like kid growing up, becoming a man. So, and he saw me as well, you know, looking at me as a senior and then getting me here. I feel like he's helping me out a lot. Like he was already familiar with a lot of stuff that Steve brought in, and a lot of stuff that kind of just Carolina brought in with the first few months he was here. So he's been guiding me the way I would expect a vet to do, and it's kind of funny just the age difference, how much more mature he is, I would say. But yeah, you know, he's a good dude, good player, even better person. So.
Time for 1 or 2 more.
Yeah. So Andrew, I know you went to St. John Bosco. and you also went to Boise State, which is a program, even though it's a mid-major, there's a lot of expectation that plays. How have those two schools prepared you for this moment when there's a lot of hype surrounding Chapel Hill and, Coach Belichick?
Yeah, in high school, I would say winning was the standard. And coming out, I wanted to go to a program where that was the same thing and where people cared. That was my biggest thing, care factor being high and winning being just what we're supposed to do. So going to a school like Boise State, winning was something they did, and they did consistently. And just growing you as a great football player and as a man. And I feel like that was something that I was looking into deeply, making sure that there's a program that would take me from ground up and try and build me to be a better player than who I was the day before. So that's pretty much why I did that.
Jamie Collins is your position coach. How has he helped you throughout your development? Because he was a Pro Bowler in the NFL.
Yeah, learning from somebody like that every single day, who was in it with guys like you are, playing football at a very high level, at the highest level. He's went through some of the workouts, even that Mo put him through, or some of the practice and the scheme. So it's easy to learn from somebody that's done it and that understands it and sees the game from the entire lens. So I feel like he comes in every day with the mentality of work. And it just makes you want to go harder because you just want to, what you want to amount to. If you make a great play, I'm sure he's probably made a play like that too. So it doesn't let you get too much in your head about what you do good and bad. It's just about getting better. So.
Ben Volan from the Boston Globe came down here to write about your coach. He's a cover him back in New England. I know you said he's a pretty down-to-earth guy, but just through this whole process, has there been a pinch me moment? Can you believe that Bill Belichick, the guy who coached Tom Brady, is here at UNC as your coach?
Honestly, it's just every meeting I walk into, every new day, I just sit there and I understand that I'm in front of greatness. You know what I'm saying? I'm going somewhere where he's leading our team and our troops, and we're following him. So pinch me moment, I would say probably when I first met him, but it's becoming more normal because he just is such a good person. He talks to us, he keeps it real. We have good conversations that you wouldn't really expect to get out of a coach of his magnitude, but he really has us understand the fundamentals of the game and just keeps it simple for us, and that allows us to play fast, play free, and then just trust what he's putting out in front of us.
Good stuff, Andrew.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Andrew.